Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by my friend, my companion, my duo. You guys already know the fucking vibes, guys. It's Ben J. Nissim. Ben, say hello.
What up, Tom? What a crazy day of news, bro. That's why we're getting this show together today.
Crazy day, Ben. Crazy day. We also have Tactical Rab joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know who he is. Can we get a Wab in the chat? Rab, how you doing?
What is good, Zoomaa? I'm doing awesome, especially well with all the drama that's gone on today. 4 videos worth.
It's
Wait
crazy.
for your YouTube channel, bro. You're about to be popping. Man.
Oh, yeah. Make sure to go
You know
check
the
out
drill.
Tactical Rab's all his content on the YouTube, man. He's been doing a good job. We got a lot to talk about, man. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Where the fuck do I begin?
Well, do we want to start with Fire and get him in here and sort of get his?
Yeah, I mean, is Fire in the TeamSpeak? I gave him the info.
Yeah.
Drag him in. Let's talk to Fire 40 with the recent news of him getting released from Paris Legion. He wanted to come in and he had some words that he had wanted to say.
Was moved to your channel.
Fire, how you doing, kid?
What's good, brothers? How y'all doing?
How you doing, man? Pretty good, pretty good. Obviously, there's a lot going on, right? Just with rosters and obviously we're seeing the land stuff coming back and just a lot of stuff going on, man. And obviously there's some unfortunate news around your name, right? Getting released from Paris. And I know that you really want to come on the show and just kind of speak your mind. How are you feeling, man, after you know, getting released? I mean, it must not be easy. I still think very highly of you as a player, man, so I don't want you to give up or anything. I want you to keep competing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just want to know your thoughts, man.
I mean, obviously, like, I've never been in a position like this before, you know, so I don't know. I'm just taking it easy, you know, just like, you know, keeping my cool. But, like, I don't know. It was, I mean, it was fun, you know, like my first year, you know, competing for the first time. I don't know. I'm just glad that, like, I got a feel of what it felt like to, like, be a pro, you know? So, like,
Yeah.
next time if I would ever, like, get a chance to compete at the pro level, like, I'll be, like, a little bit more,
Prepared.
yeah, prepared.
For sure. It's always difficult to get thrown into the pro scene. You know, even obviously Shotzi, right, last year. I mean, it's a lot different. We're online, right? People can say whatever they want about online and land, but the pressure's still there. All the viewers are still there. It's very difficult to come in and especially get thrown. And you had ups and downs when you're competing. Like, you had a lot of lows, right? But you also had some good maps too. Like, you were doing your thing sometimes. I think you're more comfortable on the AR, in my opinion. I feel like you don't really run a sub.
I mean, it wasn't even that. It was more that, like, I didn't even touch the sub, like, at all this COD. So I'm, like, 5 months in with an AR, you know, just running an AR, like, all day, every day, you know?
Yeah.
And then just to get switched to a sub, and I haven't even used it the entire game. It was just, like, at first, like, I went through, like, a little honeymoon phase, like, during scrims. And obviously, like, it just didn't transition over, like, into the matches. And then that's what made us, like, switch back. And yeah.
What are you gonna do, man? You know what?
Hey,
You know what I'm
wake
saying? Shit happens. I just want to know, you know, what's going on with you? Where do you see yourself going now? Is there any plans for you?
I mean, I'm gonna compete in Challengers still. I just upgraded my whole setup back home. I'm about to go back home tomorrow. I have my flight booked and everything. So
That's
I'm
good.
probably just gonna go back home, you know, just, you know, hop on,
Hey,
get back
wake up.
right back into it, into Challengers and shit.
Yep, for sure, man. Ben, you have anything you want to ask Fire? I know you seem like you're pondering over there.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask like kind of how the conversation went down. Like, who from the team talked to you about the change, and like if you like, you know, did they treat you well in that conversation? Did you find out through like other sources? Like, how did it go down?
Yeah, no, they brought it up to me. It was, I mean, I kind of knew like something was gonna happen, but I didn't know it was gonna be a roster change. I just thought we were gonna, like, it was just gonna be like another role switch, you know, just have like Maddie back on the AR and then just force me to just like learn the sub bro like I was supposed to, you know. Like I was supposed to be brought onto the roster as a sub player, but I mean, you know, it just didn't work out like that. So, because like in MW when I competed in Challengers, I ran a sub, right?
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
like everybody was like, oh, he's gonna get picked up like as a sub player, you know, like he's a godlike sub player from Challengers. Then I ended up just running an AR for Paris, so.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it's a tough spot, man. It's a tough spot, and you're not the only one. People are losing spots left and right, bro.
Yeah,
It's crazy just how competitive it actually is.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to get you in here, right, and just kind of get your thoughts a little bit.
Hey, wake up.
I was a little surprised to see you get released. I don't know. Instead of just you know, whatever, staying on the bench, they just straight up released you.
I would have wanted it like this anyways, because like if I'm gonna play challengers and if they're gonna make a change, like I would just rather just have them make the change, and just like, just work out, like, just get right back into it, just practice like with a new player and just, try and like, I don't know, just work the way up again, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
Yeah.
then just let me be able to play with whoever I want in challengers.
No,
And not let
100%.
me be restricted, because I want to be able to play with anybody. Like even if like I'm playing with like subs, like pretty sure it's like 2 subs per challenger team. And so like if me being released, like with me being released, I can play with anybody. So like,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make just trying to make some moves right now.
No, 100%.
So just to confirm, because I know they changed the rules this year, so it wasn't necessarily released. They bought you out, right? And they owe you 2 months worth of salary, and then that's it, correct?
I think so, something like that, yeah.
Okay. And that's to your reasoning totally makes sense. There's been a bunch of challengers teams that wanted to form but couldn't form this year because of that 2 sub rules. So I could see from your POV, like, there's a lot of prize money to win in the challenger scene this year. So
yeah,
now you can make the team you want and you can cash it. I think it's like 20K first place if you win one of these elite tournaments, which is some nice coin right there.
Yeah.
We also got Tactical Rab in here. I don't know, Rab, if you want to ask him any questions while we have him in here, but if not, we can move on to the next guy. Fire, we got a lot of people joining on, man, so we're just going to be interchanging people on and off. But Rab, you got anything you want to say?
Man.
Crazy day.
No, I just wanted to say it was unfortunate, Spock, is you guys were honestly really good at the start of the season. I was surprised with how well you guys performed early on, right? Because coming into the season, everyone was like, okay, they've left it so late to form this team. You had so many like really close series early, and then it just felt like all the other teams improved a lot quicker. The contract stuff is really interesting, as you were talking about, though, Ben, because some of these teams, especially London, is such a weird spot because they've had so many people. Parasite, of course, who you're now teaming with again, Fire, was on London. Then, like, they bought him out, I'm pretty sure, to get off the team.
Yeah.
Similar thing must have happened with Alex. So honestly, it's just chaos right now. I don't even know what's going on.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just happy that I'm able to play with whoever. Like, I just wanted to, like, hit the ground running. Just like get home and just instantly back on it. Like, I get home at like 1 o'clock tomorrow, and I have scrims booked for 4:30. Like, I'm fucking trying to play
right there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get into the mix as soon as I touch down.
Yeah, we saw that you got picked up on Wester making a roster change again for like the 79th time.
Oh yeah, it's the 75th change.
I mean,
Fire, watch your back over there. Fire, I'm serious. Watch your fucking back.
No, it's like the qualifier thing, because I'm pretty sure the qualifier is this weekend or something. So yeah, this is what I'm gonna play the qualifier with probably. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. There's still more things going on, so I don't know. Maybe I don't even know if I'm even gonna be with them by the time this shit's like all these roster changes are finished. Like, I don't know what's going on right now. Like, I'm just sitting here just twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah. No. Well, hey, bro. At the end of the day, keep your head up, right? Keep your head up. Keep pushing. Keep grinding. You know what you're capable of. I've seen you do crazy things. I obviously think you're talented. I think you just need more time, man. Honest. If you want my honest opinion, right?
Yeah.
I'll just be straight honest. I think with a little bit more reps, a little bit more practice, maybe more experience. Sometimes it's different for everybody. Sometimes people come in and they need a little bit more time. Sometimes people pick it up right away. It's one of those things where you just need to get yourself in the right rhythm and the right mindset.
Yeah.
And I think you're on the right track, man. So just keep your head up and keep pushing and keep grinding, man. And thank you for coming on, bro. Bro,
no problem. Thanks for having me on, brother.
Yeah, no problem, man. If you ever want to come on again, let me know.
I got you, boys.
All right, man. Have a good one. Have a good day. Have a good day.
User was moved out of your channel.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we got Slacked. The next one that was benched, obviously from the Florida Mutineers. We don't know what the heck's going on there, but we're going to give Slacked a little poke. We're going to try and wake him up. And there he is, Josiah Berry, a.k.a. Slacked, did a call. Welcome to the flank.
What's going on, Tom? What's going on, Ben? How you guys doing?
How you doing? How you doing?
Yo, what's good?
Well, we got Tactical Rabbit here as well. Jerry, you already know I'm going to pull up some of your tweets. You said Lan is back and I'm on the bench. ... Ha 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 ha. Obviously, Jerry, you're not happy. You want to be playing on Lan, of course. That's where you thrive.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I haven't been the best player in the entire world. I'm real with myself in this online league, but I feel like on LAN I've definitely had my fair share of accomplishments, and I don't know. I'd be pretty upset if it was on LAN and I could not play.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's just like the timing of it all too, right? Like I wonder that this was on land a little bit earlier, some of these changes would be going down. You got to think, right? Like if people knew that this land announcement was coming up, maybe people would be deciding differently. Yeah, you got to think, Rab. You got to think. You know what I'm saying?
The Slasher's tweet as well. Tough.
Yeah, Slasher came out and said something.
I have some thoughts on this, but
go ahead.
Jerry, no, we'll save that for a later segment.
Right.
But Jerry, I want to kind of ask you sort of like what was the whole genesis of you getting dropped? Because I know like you guys always look great in practice, and it was always a different feel in matches. Like from your read, kind of where was that disconnect sort of coming from?
So yeah, like you kind of hit it at, in practice, we were disgusting. Like, I'm not kidding. We didn't lose scrims to anyone really other than FaZe. And when we went to matches, we couldn't really like transition it. Like I think our map count on checkmate, hardpoint, and scrims, I'm not kidding, was like 11-2 or something like that. And we obviously played it like, I think, what did we play it 7 times, and we were 1-6. So I don't know. We just couldn't really get that transition from practice to matches, and I think it was really just a lot of teams slowed down in matches, used a lot more teamwork. And I don't know. We're just super inconsistent. We were all over the place. We either looked like the best team in the world, or we didn't look so hot. So I don't know. That's kind of what I was told is with the team's inconsistencies, they were going to try out other players, and I kind of just said, good luck, best of luck, and here we are.
So just to understand, like you're not part of the people they're trying. They 100% put you on the bench pending any further changes.
Yeah, I'm 100% on the bench. They said that if things obviously don't go well, just to stay sharp, and kind of we'll see what happens from there. But as of right now, that's kind of what I've been told.
And what are your current plans? Like, are you going to play challengers this week and like try and get in the team for the elite? Like, what's your kind of short-term goal at the moment?
Yeah, I'm definitely playing in challengers. The elite, I think I have a team. Basically, we're kind of just waiting to see what happens with this Florida tryout, because depending on who they get as a fourth would determine who my challengers teammate would be. And if everything goes well, I think we'll already have a spot in the elite. So we'll see.
Oh, already have a spot in the competition, so you don't even need to qualify, is what you're saying.
Yeah, depending upon I don't think I'll have to play this weekend.
Interesting
stuff.
Challengers.
I think I know what team you're talking about, but we'll leave that to the imagination of the chat here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I might be on that team. You know what I'm saying? Coming back to challenge.
I saw the comebacks happen.
I didn't want to announce your return, but me, Zoomaa, and Methods were.
We could streak. We could streak, bro. We could streak, man. We could definitely streak.
We're gonna be the trio, and I don't know. I don't see anyone killing Tom, to be honest.
Bro, honestly, the hand, I played on the controller for the first time in about like 2 months yesterday, and it felt okay. It took, after like an hour, it felt a little bit better, and then like another hour into it, it felt worse. Like it was just kind of up and down. Like once I warmed up, I felt good, and then after a while, it just kind of felt weak still, and was kind of getting like really sore, like really fast, and that's after 2 months of rest, right? So I think I'm gonna continue to rest it, but at the same time, I think challenges would be a lot of fun, man. I mean, I don't know if I would take it as seriously, and that's why I don't think some people would want to play with me, because I would just kind of have fun with it. But, you know, if anybody wants to have a good time, you know, maybe Damon will make a team with me. We could just fuck around, you know what I'm saying? See how far we could take it. But that would be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty cool. But, I mean, you know what? I think you're going to find yourself back in one of these days, man. It's just got to be, you got to be patient. You know what I'm saying? You got to be patient, and, you just got to play your way through challengers, no?
Yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, that's the plan. I don't really plan on missing too much practice. I kind of plan on, I told the organization, I was like, I want to, you know, make it be known that I've been benched, like, as soon as possible, so I can continue to find another team and start practicing so I can continue to grind.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Well, I wish you the best with everything. I mean, you can stay on the show if you want. I mean, we're just going to be talking about everything that's going on. I mean, obviously, we saw the news with Donnie, right? Donnie is getting picked up by Paris. What do you think of that? You think it's a good move?
I do. I think that team kind of had like a good core 3, and not to throw everything on fire. I don't think he was like, I don't know. I don't think he was really the full problem, but he kind of was in a sense. Like he had some really bad series, but he also had some good, like versus my team, he played great both times we played them. When we played him in the major, he dropped like a 1.3. He was disgusting, and then when we played him in the league matches, he did well as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think with Donnie, maybe a consistent sub, and then I think I said it on your show before, with Scraps going back to that AR role, I think they could be really strong.
Yeah.
I think Maddie's pretty comfortable as that other AR, so they should be really good. Honestly, I don't see them downgrading at all.
Yeah, I can
have
see them being good.
I
What's
have
up,
a no pun intended fire take here.
Jesus fuck.
Here we go.
This fucking guy.
So my thought on this move is I see that this solves the role issues, which is good. My question with this move is the player chemistry on this team would now become a little bit interesting. You've had players that have teamed together before here. Obviously, Classic and Temp team back in World War II. You've had Temp and Aqua team before. And I think on both of those teams, sometimes like the chemistry wasn't there. So I think if this team gets hot, they're going to be really dangerous. Where I really want to see how this team performs is if they get 1 or 2 losses in a row, how do they respond to that adversity? If they respond well, then this team, I have really high hopes for it. If not, then I could see this team spiraling. So this team is now shot up very high on like my interest list for stage 3 in terms of teams.
So you're saying that personalities might clash or maybe tempers might fly. You think shit might hit the fan if they don't do well?
Well, I think so here's my read on the team. Like, you've got 4 players that are very passionate. There's no question about the work ethic on this team. And I think that's good. You've got hungry players on here. They have a point to prove. Where I think there could be issues is a disagreement on how to play COD, a disagreement on situationals. These are players that are going to like always kind of speak their mind. And we've seen with teams like Seattle, like if all 4 players are that way, like it can work. Because you don't take anything too seriously beyond those disagreements, and you're just totally aligned on getting better. But if they're not, and to use a fancy business word, like calibrated on their thinking on the system they want to play.
Good word. That's a good word.
That's where they're going to get in trouble. So I'm very curious to see how Paris plays. I'm also very curious to see what group they end in, because the matchups are obviously very important.
For sure. Rab, what are your thoughts, man? What are your thoughts about this new Paris roster? I personally love it.
It's scarier, man, for sure. I like the temp move. I think it makes sense. I think especially Temp is in a great spot here to really prove himself, right? Because, the last team, LA Thieves, he gets removed off the squad. They were still awful. So it's like, all right, maybe it wasn't his fault. Slasher goes out, they look better. So questions there. And now he comes into a Paris team where it's like, okay, I don't know if the league's expanding next year, but effectively this is your shot, right?
Yeah.
You almost didn't get picked up at the start of this season. You were probably pretty lucky the fact that the whole drama went down with the LA Thieves getting bought out. They couldn't get Priester. He went to Rocker, and all that stuff happened. So they decided to get Temp in the end.
Yep.
Then he gets benched, and now we're straight back in the league. So Temp could not ask for a better situation here. He finds himself on a team with players he's teamed with before. He's got to start looking like Black Ops 4 Temp, and start dropping some numbers, because that's what they need. And Aqua is super good at this game. Scraps is great. Classic, like I know Ben, you always talk about, he's hella underrated. I think he actually had some really good series so far. And if Temp can slot into that kind of SMG role and actually put on a show, because that's what you need in this game, then I think this team's scary, man. Like, honestly, this league is insane.
It's crazy, right, Rab?
The
It's
teams
fucking
that were
nuts.
underperforming
It's nuts.
Yeah.
are making changes.
I really like this team because Don's pretty comfortable running a sub or an AR. Graphs is really comfortable running a sub or an AR. We've seen Nick run a sub and also run an AR and win an event, aka the Rampart.
I think even before he used to use an IW.
Yeah, Nick can use
nasty
everything.
with that.
So and then Yuli's always going to hold on to main AR spot. So I like how the roles work on this team, and that's why I think this is like one of those teams that just might. They're going to be a surprise in a lot of matchups. This team, they were starting to turn the corner in search. And I think the limiter was just consistent performance. And so, like, maybe they can get there with this team. Like, I'm very, very high on this team right now with this pick. I'll be honest, like, I wasn't about 3 hours ago. And then I sat here for 3 hours and thought about it. And I was like, you know what? I actually kind of see this move now. And I think it can really work out.
Yep. No, 100%. If you want my opinion, I think it's a good move. I know you think if things spiral, you want to know how they react to it, Ben, which I guess is fair. Considering the personalities on the team. But at the same time, I feel like this team is going to mesh really well, because I feel like the personalities, they're going to get along. I feel like it's going to be a good team. I feel like it's going to be very vibey. I think they're going to have a lot of fun. and I think they're gonna work really hard. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see this new team. And then we obviously got some other news. I mean, let's start since we got Josiah in the call. We got Slacked in here. It says Mutineers looking at Havoc, Yeez, and possibly Decimate. Jerry, any truth on this, or is this just rumors flying around? Do you know who they're playing with, or do you not want to say?
I don't know if I really should say, to be honest.
All right, you don't have to say,
It's
but
all
they're,
facts.
I mean,
what is
Yeah.
this? Let's be honest here, Jerry. What are they doing? A trial type shit? Are they gonna give
yeah, I
everybody?
mean that's what I was told. I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's what it seems like. I mean, there's been, I'm pretty sure, pictures on Twitter that people have posted already. But I mean, it seems like they're doing a trial run to see kind of what the best fit in their eyes is, and
Mhm.
I think they'll decide from there. I would assume. I don't
Yep.
know how long they'll let it go on though, because I mean, from my understanding, the league starts again like not this Thursday, but the following. So
Yeah.
seems like they need to figure out who they're gonna play with and start grinding.
Yeah, they don't got much time. They don't got much time, that's for sure. So I'm curious to see who they end up playing with, and I'm curious to see if it changes the team around. I mean, we'll see. I didn't
That's
think
what I'm intrigued to see, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is the play. I mean, maybe it is. And it's like in the call say, but it's like stage one, pretty average, looked good at times.
Mhm.
Awakening was a monster.
Yep.
And Skies like had a really underwhelming stage. And then stage two, Skies is performing a lot better, at least statistical analysis.
Mhm.
And then like Awakening, he doesn't have quite the impact in search. So it seems like, okay, we've got more performance out of Skies, less out of Awakening. And then the SMG line's the same, and the team's kind of stayed in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
And maybe the rest of the teams are improving somewhat. So it feels to me that a change had to be made. Like, obviously, Slack seems like the easiest man out, right? If you're Ogre 2.
Mhm.
But, like, I don't know. One man changes worked for Rocker. Maybe this will work, but that was a slightly different deal when you're changing roles
Yep.
as well. And it's not really the case. So I don't really know if it makes this team
Exactly.
too much better.
That's what I was saying. With Slack, they weren't bad. They were very good in practice, and they just couldn't put it together at tournaments, which I don't know if that's a one-player thing. Like, I don't know. I don't really know.
It's not gonna fix it. So like, let's look at these players, right? I like Yeez, but like he hasn't really shown in the challengers that he's got the sling power to really stick it at the pro
Really? I
level.
thought Yeez was pretty good. I thought people would hype this
I
guy
mean,
up.
I mean, people have been hyping him up, but you look at the stats, you look at the performances, and I don't know if they like 100% back that up. I think that's a risky pick. I like Havoc, but I also don't think Havoc fixes that inconsistency problem. So that just seems like you're just trying to get someone who can maybe slay more to paper over the issues. And so I don't know about that. I like Desi. It gives you sort of a lot of like flexibility with roles on the team because Desi can kind of do it all. But again, like curious to the personality mesh with him and Skies and Bidwake and Neptune. And I think my bigger takeaway too with like the team, if you watch Florida play, like I think Neptune's very good, but I still think like if you watch the plays that he makes on the map, like he's often not making either the correct play or he's just a couple of steps ahead of his teammates. Neptune.
Neptune, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's still kind of learning how to play like the game modes kind of textbook and like the real like structured like 100% play and not the like 50-50 risky play.
It's just about knowing when to make the play and when not to.
Yeah, like you can make those plays, but like your teammates have to be on board if you're hitting those long routes or your pinches. So you're not like screwing up spawns or making things too chaotic. So
yeah,
I'm very curious to see what happens here. I would say that like Florida is a team that I'd be very curious if maybe the move for them is not so much a free agent move, but getting involved with some of the instability on some of the other teams and getting involved in the trade market. They're like the one team, if you think of with trades and some of the other instability or unstable situations, like what was going on with Thieves for a minute.
Yeah.
We'll talk about New York, like, Paris, obviously, before this Donnie signing, that might be a really good trade partner for some of these teams.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with everything you just said. I mean, at the end of the day, Mutineers, they're making changes, and we'll see what it does. We'll see if it helps them. We'll see if it keeps them where they're at or make them worse. I mean, I don't really know. I think a lot of it's just going to come down to how they perform and how consistent they could possibly be. I think Select was a big loss in terms of like IGL trying to get everybody on the same page. So we'll see. We'll see how they bounce back. But then we go into the next one. This one's making a lot of noise, Ben.
Yeah.
Hydra
everybody-
possibly starting for the New York Subliners. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys have been asking for this since day fucking one. You guys never shut the fuck up. You guys want Hydra in there? Let's get a wide. What's a W? A Hydra? Let's get a Hydra. Let's get a Hydra in the chat. Let's get a Hydra. Now, listen.
Yeah, I think you and I have kind of the same thoughts on this. If you want to kind of go down that path.
Okay, so here's my thoughts. I think Hydra's incredible. I just don't know much about him in game with his English and everything. I've heard good things about it. I've heard bad things about it. Regardless, I think it's awesome that he's getting a shot. I think he deserves a shot. I think he was picked up for a reason. And obviously they want to put him to use and they want to give him a try. So we'll see as they bring him in. I'm sure they're going to practice with him. The main concern with me is for who. And that's where things start to piss me off a little bit or make me a little bit uneasy. And I kind of want to hear your thoughts about it first, Ben.
Okay, you want me to go first?
I want you, and then I want you, and then I want Rab, and then I want Josiah.
Okay, so here are my thoughts. I think a lot of the difficulty with New York in their play style, and I feel like Asim had the same problem in the last team too, is it feels like sometimes he's the only person that's like making long routes. Clay does it when he gets in certain positions on the map, but he's mostly backline and support. Diamond Con's pretty frontline, same with Mac. So like bringing in Hydra for either Diamond Con or Mac kind of gives them that second playmaker. This is also why like FaZe is so good, because Sib and Abizi both kind of make those long plays on the map. So it's just hard to really counter. I like this. Personally for me though, like if we're looking at sort of like where the meta is and sort of player play styles, I don't know if Mac would be the player that I would drop. I think he would have to be Diamond Con. But I could see that, I could see it be kind of 50-50, and I'm very curious to other people on this call if you agree with me or disagree with me.
I got some thoughts, but I'm going to go last. Tactical Rab, what do you got, Rab?
Yeah, I mean, interesting. This is certainly about time, right? I think this is where you have to make this move, because if you don't bring Hydra now, it's too late in the season to try and get him into the system maybe and bring up like, get him on board with Clay and make sure the communication's where it should be by the time Clay wants to go back to back at champs. So I think you have to make this move now. Now, whether this is a one-person move, I don't know, because I've heard some rumors that maybe there's considerations for a two-person change here. Now, Hydra coming in, and I mean, Asim and Clay are going to stay. So like,
was moved to your
I don't know if that's the case with two men going out and Hydra coming in. That's a possibility though. And if that is the case, then I can see it happening. I don't. That's the thing. If like as Chrome was talking about in the article, like minus Mac plus Hydra, I don't know if that's really the move that revolutionizes the squad. So, but I think you've got to bring Hydra in. If there is a two-man change, they should be announcing soon if it is a thing, because they're gonna have to start practicing.
Rab.
It's a week away.
Let me stop you right there. Where are you getting your information from, Tactical Rab?
I got sources, my
Who the
dude.
fuck are your sources, Rab? I want to know.
We don't
I wanna
reveal
know.
our
He's not
sources.
going to reveal his sources. Good try, Tom.
This fucking guy. You know, this is why we get Rab on here, though.
confirm
You
it
never know what. No, it doesn't confirm anything. I'm curious. You know, I'm just curious who you talk
If you
to.
go down that line of thinking, like if their goal is to like, okay, let's try and get in like another flex player and then like a dynamic sub player, aka Hydra, who can run an AR, like that makes a lot of sense to me if you're New York, because they're sort of on that like crossroads as a point now. Like other teams are starting to catch up to them. The like kind of we play checkmate in every series gimmick isn't going to stick for a minute, and they're good at other maps, but they need to kind of mix up the personnel sort of match. So listen, you always got to tip a team for rolling the dice, not being complacent, and trying to see how they can improve. Clearly, I think Clay and Asim are probably the two players on the team that are the real anchors right now, and we'll see if they're able to pull these moves off. I'm curious who the second player may be if one of them is Hydra.
We got Slack in the call. Slack, you're up next. What do you think, kid?
I kind of with both you and Ben. I don't know, like I don't know much about Hydra, and like I've heard good and bad on his English. And I'm with Ben on the fact that like this is a risky move, but they're kind of like sitting at the middle of the pack where teams are starting to catch up, and this could pay off big time for them. I really think it's just kind of a time will tell. I don't know. We just kind of got to wait and see. I think he needs some playing time, though. He seems like a solid player from what I've seen in him playing in the Challengers and whatnot. And hopefully he can do his thing and turn New York around.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to watch him play. That's for sure. He's gonna be an exciting one to watch. There's gonna be a lot of eyes on him too. So he's gonna be a good one. And then we also got, ladies and gentlemen, Zinni, aka Methods, joining the emergency flank. Zinni, how you doing today, kid?
What's going on?
How you doing, Zin? What's
Good,
going on?
man.
You know
I just love
me.
Zinni intro every time he comes in.
You know me. Listen. First
Oh
off,
my
I think Mac is disgusting. I'll say that right now.
Agreed.
I think that
agree.
guy is insanely good. So I'm trying. Nothing is confirmed. So what are we actually talking about right
Your
now?
thoughts of Hydra getting in? Obviously, Tactical Rabbit is dropping some more intel. These are all rumors. You know,
What did Rap say? What are their names? Did you say their names?
Rab, do you want to repeat?
I didn't say any names. I said I've heard
Oh, okay.
potential of, 2 men out, which you'd imagine would be McIntyre, McCon, Hydra in +1, possibly.
Okay. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how much more talented Hydra is than Mac, because I think Mac is super talented. Communication-wise, I have to think it's a downgrade. I'm not sure how much Mac speaks, but Hydra doesn't speak English, or at least it's not his first language. So maybe he's working on it, but he speaks French. So let's set that record straight right there. Is you make communication worse in my mind, no matter what. Then as for the second player, I mean, who knows? I mean, yeah, that's what we'll speak on for now.
All right, now I got my thoughts. Now, I gotta be careful what I say here.
Well, let me also say I've been in Challengers for a bit. Sorry, Tom, to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Before we go, Hydra is disgusting. I played against him.
He's very good.
I've always said that I think Saints is the best player in NYSL Academy. Talent-wise, is probably Hydra, but I was more so talking the intangibles, like communication. Like everybody knows when Nato's frying, he speaks a lot. So that's, if you're going off talent, Hydra was probably the most talented on the NYSL Academy. So talent's not the issue. Like he could win games for him. It's just the communication part is what worries me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I heard good things about his English, honestly. Obviously, we'll find out more about it when he starts practicing with the squad. I don't really know how soon it's gonna happen, but I mean, I'll obviously be tuning in to the scrims and stuff, and I'll be taking a look. But the one thing that really scares me is Mac. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? This guy's good, man. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you this guy's good. I don't know if he's getting replaced or not. I have no idea. All I know is I hope not, because I think he's fucking incredible. I think he's incredible. I think the main question is who's it for, right? If Hydra's coming in, is it going to be for Diamond Con and Mac? And I'm sure this is also a tough decision for New York because...
I mean, sorry, Tom.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Zin.
No, you literally poked me and said, I'm sorry.
No,
But,
you're good. You're good. You can talk, though. You're good.
As long as Mac's still on the bench, it's not like the craziest, because obviously everybody knows he's good, right? They could just be trialing something else for a second, and then as soon as it doesn't work, maybe they'll bring back Mac, but who knows?
I don't know, guys. All I'm seeing is rumors. I obviously talked to the team. There's only so much I can get because decisions are still being made, and obviously CDL Intel tweeted a lot of stuff out, and so I figured I would speak on it and talk on it. One thing for me, bro, is I picked up Mac last year because I saw something special in him. You know what I'm saying? And I still see that same talent. I still see it in this game. I really do. And I just don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I just know that Hydra is obviously a talent that everybody wants to see. Everybody keeps talking about him, and obviously they're bringing him in. Now Tactical Rib is saying there's shit going on about maybe a 2-person change, and it confuses me a little bit.
Rab, I'd love to know more. I'd love to know which names you've heard.
Oh, I don't know if we can be revealing those. I think that would be too in depth.
Really?
But, we'll leave it there for now.
What a shit reporter.
Listen,
you gotta pick and choose.
You gotta pick, yeah, right, because you also don't want to ruin your relationship with sources, right, Rab? So,
Absolutely.
So you gotta be careful on what you say. At the end of the day, man, I wish the best for New York. Just fucking don't touch Asim. I'll tell you that. You touch Asim, I'll lose my fucking mind. I'll put my fucking fist through this monitor. I'll tell you that.
That's crazy though. Last year, if you were to say, are you
he wasn't getting on a team. Asim was done.
Last year, right now, if you were to say, who do you want on your team, Asim or Mac? 50 out of 50 players are saying Mac, and now most people would probably say Asim because of how dominant he's been. It's just crazy how.
It's
shit
crazy.
Like that can change so quick.
I will never forget.
I think that speaks to the development of Asim, because Tom and I have known him for a long time. I knew when I would watch him for Ryan Chris's sub tournaments that this kid's got tremendous skill. And Tom, you team with him in at the tail end of CWL. And he had his shortcomings, just reading situations, sometimes too aggressive. He's just trying to go for the world stars and just not playing his life a lot.
Yeah.
But I think he's learned, burger streaks all the time, but he's learned how to improve all of those facets of the game modes. On top of that, I know from talking to people kind of around the scene that Asim has also been sort of a secondary leader on this team at times.
I mean,
to back up Clay, that's big growth out of a player in only about 8 or 9 months. So I think we really got to tip our hat to someone taking that big step in there from their sophomore year to his third year now playing professional COD.
No, 100%. I will never forget when Asim called me in the offseason. We were looking for a player, and we were trying everything to get certain players. It was very difficult. Believe it or not, the one guy we were gonna pick up was Pharaoh in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So RIP to Jay. I was talking to Jay every single day, man. And he was on board, man. We were really trying to make it happen, and it fell through. Obviously, he's an amazing talent, right? So the Mutineers wanted to hold on to him, but it was a long process. So it kind of delayed out the process a little bit on trying to get a fourth player. And then Asim gives me a call, and he goes, "You're not going to believe this." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Minnesota, they got rid of me. They picked up Preston and Mike, and they're going with Lamar, Dylan, Preston, and Mike, so they're getting rid of me." I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. He didn't even have a team offer anywhere else. He said, "That's it. I'm not, unless you guys pick me up, unless you want to play with me, I'm not going to get on the team. I'm going to be playing in challengers." And I'm like, "No, if you're on the bench, we're getting you. We're fucking getting you. There's no shot in hell you're not playing in the pro league. You're fucking amazing. You're incredible." I'm me, I'm Asim's biggest fucking fan.
Yeah.
So obviously I go back to the team, and everybody's iffy on it because for some reason Asim's stock just wasn't good. I don't know why. It was just, he got a bad rep because of his team and kind of how they played as a team, but it showed me that people just didn't pay attention. They didn't pay attention. And I had to do some serious begging to get this guy on the team. And now to see him on the team doing what he's doing, that's my fucking son. Fucking Waysome. Can we get a Waysome in the chat? Because this guy's playing absolutely incredible. He made me look like a fucking genius, this fucking guy. He made me look like a genius. Now, to be fair, I am a genius when it comes to scouting young talent. I am. But Asim is just is a different breed, bro. So don't touch that kid. Don't touch him. Let him do his thing. Now, it gets tricky when you talk about the other two, which is what we were talking about before. That's enough Asim gas, because I don't want his head getting too fucking big.
Yeah, definitely.
But now we got to start talking about the other two. And I think DiamondCon is a really good player, but I think a lot of it comes down to roles, right? What does Hydra want to do? What does he want to use? What does New York want him using? And then you got to go from there and make a decision. Is this going to make the team better? I don't fucking know. I really don't know. And it kind of worries me because I thought our original team was very good. But obviously, at this past major, it didn't look good. And they struggled, and they thought they needed to change. And hey, if they think they needed to change, then that's it. They think they need to change. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll find out very soon. Usually when these rumors come out, guys, we pretty much know what happens very, very soon. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see it. Go
ahead, Reb.
Okay, you sure?
Oh, look at you guys.
Sure.
You're both so fucking nice, man. Rab, go ahead.
Polite.
Go ahead, Rab.
Right, I'm cracking on. I wanted to talk about Clay real quick because he talked in an interview way back at the start of the season. And I was surprised he was so open about it, about how frustrated he was with having to guide these up and comers, right? Because last year, I guess he has Krim on the team as well. He seemed super frustrated in this interview
Hey,
early
wake
part
up.
of the season about like how taxing it was on him mentally to be bringing up these up and comers and teaching them the ropes and all this type of stuff. So what's interesting to me about this move is that like it doesn't help any of those issues, right? If anything, it makes his job harder in that you've now got to do that again in effect, maybe twice over. So that's why I kind of worry, right? Because Clayster's maybe his headspace hasn't been so good as of late. They're 0-6 at the major in terms of map counts. They obviously didn't have the greatest time, and I think you could see on his face
Hey,
and
wake
the
up.
the listenings and the post game stuff like that he wasn't having the greatest time. And you talked about maybe needing to take some time off and stuff. So I think while this move might rejuvenate the team to some degree, I think the roles are a question mark. What do you have Hydra run? And then also like whether like all the focus is on Clay again to just make this new squad work is, you know, like it's a lot of pressure on I think a lot of the people on the team because
Well,
I'm
sure.
intrigued to see how it goes.
I have a couple
For
of
sure.
thoughts here on that. So thought number one, understand Clay's answer, but he has a coaching staff, so it's not entirely on his shoulders on that aspect. Obviously, Asim can help out too. I think they can spread the load, and we've seen that when having that coaching staff can really help to take some of those tougher one-on-one conversations, a lot of the strategy. They've got a great analyst in JP. Like overall, they can kind of spread that out. Two, I'm not really worried about the roles on this team. Because they've got a lot of players that aren't limited to running just a sub or an AR. Like we've seen Asim at times last year and this year run an AR and Fry. We've seen Hydra in Challengers run a sub and an AR and Fry. Mac can run both, and obviously there's some debate about which is better for him. Like I'm not worried about like the mega roster roles issues on this team. It's more just like, you know, they're gonna have whatever moves they make. They're gonna have a lot of talent. And as we've seen, there's a lot of parity in the league, and they're just going to have to get up to speed quick. I think teams are going to start not playing them on checkmate, and they're going to have to figure out how to match up with teams on maps like Raid, in other search maps like a Moscow or a Miami, and we'll see how they do. I also think the difficulty for them, and we highlighted it on the show that we did after the major on Sunday, it's likely they are going to be one of the teams, pending anything ludicrous, that may end up in that very tough group with either Atlanta, Dallas/Chicago, and like another good team, probably Thieves. And so they're going to have to navigate like a very tricky situation. Now, if you can get through that group and finish top 2, you're going to feel on top of the world because you know you beat a lot of good teams. So I'm very curious to see the moves they make. I think they are at a crossroads as a team, but I like that they are not sticking complacent. Whether they make moves or not, it's good to see that they are evaluating their options and looking to still get better.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it shows that they want to win. Clay's teasing me, guys. He's giving me fucking blue balls.
Oh, he's just trolling in chat. Like
No. He came in the TeamSpeak and poked me a couple times, and then he dipped the fuck out of here. He's giving me blue balls, guys. This guy can't be serious. Everybody's saying Clay tweet. What the fuck did Clay tweet? He didn't tweet nothing.
There's no way the chat's baiting this
No,
hard.
they're bait. They always do this shit, Rab. They do this shit.
They really
They
have me,
make me check. They make me. I have no point. The problem is, Rab, is sometimes it's bait, sometimes it's not. And if I don't check, then I'm fucked. You know what I'm saying? But no, I fell for the. There's nothing there. You fucking. Anyway, listen, man. We've been talking about roster changes, right? There's obviously a lot going on. We'll find out more as.
I'll have another emergency flank before the end of this week.
I mean, we'll keep guys. I have no problem turning on the stream and doing as many shows as possible. Whenever something happens, I'm down to talk about it. If anybody ever wants something they want to talk about, I mean, even Fire40, he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I kind of want to come on and talk. Like, it's a platform for players to just kind of. It's something COD never had. COD, there's never been a platform for somebody to come on a day-to-day basis if there is something going on and talk, because it's a lot easier when it's coming from somebody's mouth to talk about it rather than just to put it in a tweet or a tweet longer or whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying? So it's always good to hear from somebody themselves. So that's why we did the show. But let's move on from roster changes and let's move on to the next topic, because this is another big one. It's got everybody confused.
Yeah.
Back to LAN. Optic Chicago said, "We'll see you soon. ... on LAN."
Okay.
Oh, baby.
We love to see that.
But
Tom.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is it coming from their account? Where's the official announcement?
Tom, I think this is what they call in the business a little bit of a preheat. They're trying to generate some buzz on the social medias, get people talking. I'm sure further announcement is probably coming at some point here, and they're just trying to get the juices flowing with the community,
It's a
get people
preheat,
excited
baby.
for LAN. Yeah.
But what does this mean? Does this mean we're seeing
I'm
LAN?
so confused, man.
That's
Yeah,
what
I'm
I'm saying,
confused
Rap.
too,
Are
but
we
I'm
seeing
What I'm
LAN
confused
within the
about is
month?
the timing.
Yeah, the
This
timing
is what
of
I'm
it.
confused about because it starts like, okay, so stage 3 major on LAN. Maybe like I heard maybe ages ago, start of the season, they were trying to think to get back to LAN maybe by stage 3. But then I was like, okay, it's getting close. Maybe it's not going to happen. We had the whole thing come out that said, okay, maybe we're thinking about LAN or online long term into the future, whatever. So then it comes out before stage 3 begins, which makes you think it's got to be the stage 3 major, right? It wouldn't make sense to do the announcement now and then have it be still like 2 months down the line for stage 4 major when we're doing it on LAN. And then the question is, all right, so LAN's a thing, but when? Nobody knows. Is there going to be a crowd? Nobody knows. Where's it going to be? Nobody knows. So it's like, you know, people getting hyped, people talking about it, but I'm going to need a little bit more detail first, lads.
I agree, Rab. I agree.
You know, don't want to overpromise, under-deliver.
Listen,
You know?
to quote the movie Blades of Glory, nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative and it gets the people going. I think they're just trying to stir the pot a little bit on social media. And you know, look, let's evaluate the whole situation. The COVID rollout has been going pretty well so far. Obviously, there's some Johnson & Johnson news that came out today, but it's a small portion of the rollout for the vaccine. People are starting to get the shots, and if you look at the calendar and how the events lay out, it's not unlikely that, you know, we're getting close to the situation where, you know, tournament operators in the U.S. feel comfortable operating LANs, and you got to plan that a few months out. So I'm sure we're getting to the point here where we might be getting some announcements soon. And look, I would love to see a LAN or two before the end of the season. I think the immediate question, and Tommy and I have talked about the show a couple of times, is because so many changes have happened in the last year and a half with like some players coming in, you've got a lot of players that have never played a pro main stage match in Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's insane. It's actually crazy.
I'll let you know right now. If you are a rookie and you're watching this show,
Oh, here we go.
if you are a rookie and you're
All
watching
right,
this
hold
show,
on.
listen to me right now.
All right.
If you're a rookie and you're watching this show, and you go to LAN,
Yeah.
you play like a fucking hamster, I will be tweeting every day for at least 1 week minimum per rookie. 1 week minimum per rookie, 1 tweet per day, calling you a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, dude, let's talk.
That is
Oh
a
my
fucking
God.
promise. And just know, and if I'm there spectating, if I'm at a fucking LAN and I'm not playing and I'm spectating, and you're playing like a hamster, you're gonna fucking hear me. Hamster, hamster, fucking screaming it across the stage from behind you.
Zinni, get the froyo, chew it down, chew the froyo
Sorry,
down.
I'm eating halal, guys, but just know, if
Every
you play like a
fucking day.
if you play like a fucking hamster, you won't live it down. I'll make damn sure of it.
So Zinni, using
All right.
RJ's favorite phrase aside, you know, look, I think that's definitely a concern with some players. Let's talk historically about players who are superstars in the league, right?
Right.
Simp in his first LAN, and he flew under the radar with this, played with that FaZe Black team, and was probably like the third or fourth best player that weekend. He didn't have the best event. And then he went to his first pro match and fried. Celium played pretty decent in his first event, had that stinker series against Optic. Everybody roasted him. And then that LG series fried. So you're going to have players that come back and forth. We had that with Shotzi. His first Call of Duty LAN did not go great. Second Call of Duty LAN went okay, still not that great. And then he rebounded. So I think teams are going to be a little bit understanding. The problem is, like, if the first LAN back is like champs, that's like a mega pressure situation to put people in front. So very curious to see what that schedule looks like. If teams are going to have a little bit of a runway here to get kind of used to that environment. Are there going to be fans? Or not going to be fans? A lot to talk about here and a lot to unpack, and I'm excited to see what's upcoming.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Shotzi. I think Shotzi's like the one anomaly where it's like you got to cut him some slack for the first few events. So I'll tell you a story. When I played Simp at a Black Ops 3 local LAN back in Jersey because we're both from Jersey.
Yeah.
And he beat me by himself. It was like me, and it was like I remember like it was yesterday. It was Fringe Hardpoint.
Yeah.
We have like a 3v1 in the hill. Here comes Simp through front window with a pistol. I'm like, all right, you got me. I was like, what the fuck? The whole team's dead. They got rotation. I'm like, how the fuck did that just happen?
Who was your teammates?
I don't even know. It's like me, BL Fire, a bunch of people. But here's the thing.
Hamsters, but all good.
Here's the thing. The only reason a rookie who's performing well online won't play well on LAN is if they shit their pants. It's that simple. There's really someone's internet is not making or breaking them on LAN. It's all about their confidence and if they're shitting their pants when they're playing formal. And like I said, you will hear me scream the word hamster many, many times if there's hamster gameplay. And that's where I'm at.
we've had
That's
players
fair.
like, dude, you guys remember this, right? Who came in the beginning of AW, was dropping like 45 every map online, people calling this guy an onliner. Then he comes to LAN and he absolutely smokes everybody. Like I think some of these players, you're going to be very surprised when they come to LAN and they play very well. And look, for the rookies, that falls a lot on the coaching staffs, on the teammates, to figure out very quickly how to make these players comfortable in a pressure environment. If you look at Dashy's tweet, it is not easy to play in front of the green wall. If
It
there
is
are
not.
a lot of fans at these events, good luck trying to ninja defuse on this team. Good luck trying to make certain plays. You're going to have to remember and kind of get that experience on how to play off the crowd and sort of feel out that environment. So I'm very curious. It adds a lot more variables to what we have now. I don't think we're going to see that much of a difference in sort of team performances. I think that narrative is always a little bit overblown, but it's going to add an interesting kind of twist to what we have. And man, we've had so many plays already this season that would have been absolutely killer if we're on LAN, and I'm happy if that's coming back. Can't wait to see more of those types of moments happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, just taking a look. Yeah,
Sorry, Tom.
I'm just saying, just taking a look at these pictures, man. Like, man, good fucking times, dude. Holy shit. I
100%.
remember the energy on that stage. I remember the fucking energy. I remember that shit. Everybody was.
That's Anaheim, right?
We walked on stage and they
2019.
started saying boo. I started looking at get fucking. I'm ready to fucking go. I
It's the
fucking
worst
love
thing.
it.
The green wall is the worst thing to play against, and the best thing to play
I
for.
like playing against it. You don't like playing against it?
No, I've always
I
loved
love
it.
playing against it.
But if I'm a rookie, bro, 15-year-old me actually no, I'm built different. I have killer instinct.
I'm gonna be honest.
So I can't.
I feel like the Optic fans
it's-
respect it when you fucking
but-
fry off it.
No, it's all about your first series. If you're a rookie and you go to the main stage and you play like a fucking hamster on a wheel for your first series, good luck. Good luck, because as soon as that series happens, you're loading on Twitter. Well, you better mute your fucking mentions, buddy, because you'll see me hamster.
Bro, there's just so much like on stage. You have the noise, the stage rumbling, the fucking the white noise in your ears, the white noise, so you can't hear the casters and stuff. It's literally just it's a way different. You're on no online. You're on an even playing field, right? Like guns play differently. Like the whole game is just it's a completely different feeling. Completely different feeling.
Hold on. To be fair, though, we're not sure if there's going to be fans. If there's no fans, it's a cheat code.
I know.
The rookie,
Well, so
see,
here's
it's very
my-
different then.
Here's my read.
There'll be
and this
fans.
This isn't
There'll be
even
fans.
well. So this isn't even like an Activision thing, right? In many locales, and like Texas is like really in Florida, like the real big wild cards, because right now in Texas and Florida, you know, the Rangers have 100% occupancy at their events, whereas the rest of the state, the rest of the country, like in many places, you can only have 20, 50 people in a room. So it's going to come down entirely to where they're going and what the local rules are. And it's not, you know, it's going to be kind of a little bit out of Activision and the CDL's hands on that.
No, I can't see a world where if we have a LAN in Texas, Activision allows a full-blown fucking
No,
fan
it
show
won't
out.
be
There's
full
no
blown.
way.
It won't be full blown.
I don't think it'll be 100% occupancy.
I could see fans, but it won't be full blown. Not like
Maybe
that.
15-20% of a normal load, and we ease into it. Like, you know, you still got social distance. The events business, man, like, and I can speak to this a little bit because, you know, the company I work for, we're kind of in this business. There's still a lot of questions about how you run large scale events in a post-COVID environment, or even sort of at the tail end of a COVID environment. Do you have to require people to have a test before they show up? Are we going to have vaccine passports? You know, people are still not sure about all the rules and regulations. There's a lot of layers. You've got to go through local layers, state layers. If you're running an event for Activision, you know, they have their requirements. So very curious to see how they navigate it. It's still a very tricky time. But again, even with or without fans, I think that's welcome by all parties.
You guys know those hazmat suits they wear in Stranger Things? You'll catch me at the fucking scuff booth in one of those doing my autograph signing. A big old hazmat suit.
Dude,
Zing,
you're
can I get a
fucking crazy.
pick?
You're
I'll
fucking
say,
crazy.
I'll say, step on the X, 6 feet away. Get a nice wide shot.
Dude, you're fucking crazy, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm excited. I just think we all need to calm down a little bit because we don't have enough information yet. We don't really know what's going on. For all we know, see you on land soon might mean we get one land event at the very end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what's going on. All we know is apparently it's coming back, and that's exciting. So it's okay to be excited. I'm excited too. So overall, just I can't wait, man. We got a lot of roster changes going down. We got the online to land topic going down. So a lot to talk about. And then I also started a little thread today on the COD competitive COD competitive Reddit. I wanted to integrate the COD competitive Reddit a little bit because you guys are always talking about the show. You guys are
How
always
many
talking.
comments that say? 214?
Yeah.
Oh, it said 700. Who the fuck are you, Joe Rogan?
214 cons. I mean, that's the
We're
goal,
getting
Zin.
there.
We're getting there. That's what we're trying to do.
No, pretty soon, Spotify exclusive deal. But
Well,
also, Tom,
that
before you
happens.
start, I have one more statement I want to make. And
Go ahead.
a lot of fucking hamsters tweeted today about LAN and how happy they are.
I mean, you're really tossing out the hamster.
Yeah. Listen, just know I've screenshotted every single one of you who I think is shit, and I've screenshotted your LAN tweets. So you better perform, because I swear I won't hold back.
All right, you heard it here first. You guys
I
perform.
like this version of Zin, bro. We don't get to see this side of Zin too often. But
I'm on the bench. Listen,
I
man,
like
I'm down.
Savage Zen.
Okay, listen. Let me preface this. This is how I cope. I am down horrendous. I have never been down worse. And I'm seeing LAN tweets. If I walk in there and I get a fan asking me for a photo and I'm on the fucking bench, I'm gonna puke. Projectile yak.
Don't
But
do
you
that,
know,
then.
better days ahead. But just know, I've screenshotted them all, and as soon as I see hamsterish gameplay, it will be tweeted, and I'll monetize it.
Oh, you're gonna monetize it.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll make a
baby.
video.
Okay, you're gonna make money off people getting shit on.
Yes.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good ideas, Zin.
Yep.
Best of luck to
Alright.
you. Let's
Big
get
question
into some
time.
of these questions, okay? I wanted to integrate the COD competitive Reddit a little bit. I put a thread up there, the flank Q&A. Let you guys know to just give us some questions. I told you guys to thumb up whatever you thought was a good question. We'll just kind of go from top to bottom. We'll get everybody's thoughts. I thought this would be a good idea, so let's get right into it. First one coming in. The best what-if team that almost formed in recent memory. Example, Scump, Zoomaa, Crim, Octane in World War II. What do you guys think?
That would have been a good team. Get shit on, moron.
Optic, I know people may not know about this story, but I know this has been talked about publicly. There were a lot of rumors back in the Ghost days that when that EG team was falling apart, that some members of that team, or at least one member of that team, might go to Optic. So if you had seen a team of like Nade, Clay, and like Crim and Ghost, oh sorry, Scump would be on the team. I'm sorry. If the team was like Scump, Clay, I don't know, some version of that with Crim would have been an absolutely disgusting team, but obviously it didn't happen. Also, Tommy, the fucking Black Ops 4 team, if we picked up a BZ, that team would have
I
been
think
gross.
that team would have been gross.
Yeah.
I think that team would have been really good. But I think this is a pretty good example. The Scump, Zoomaa, Crim, Octane in World War II. I think that would have probably been a pretty good team. No?
I think so.
You would have murdered Crim on that team. I would pay good money to watch you and Crim team together, dude.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Couldn't tell me what to do in World War II. That guy was lost in the sauce in that game. So, you
That guy
know,
was taking all your routes in that game.
Nah, he needed me in that game, bro.
Well, you had Sam Shook in that game too. I remember a series that you guys played against LG where you went off. It was a 3-0 and you went off in all 3 maps. And by the 3rd map, they were so shook about challenging you.
Yeah, good times, man. World War II, I was a different breed, bro, for sure. It's definitely a different breed. Good times, man. Good fucking times. But I think that team would have been cool. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that went down with FaZe and Optic, so it got a little bit mixy.
The FaZe formal, that would have been interesting.
The FaZe formal,
Oh,
yeah.
we talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of FaZe FaZe, like going way back to the early history, could have had a lot of interesting teams, very interesting what ifs if the what if situation in AW went down differently.
Yep, 100%. But we can move on to the next question. Ben, this question is for you, kid.
Yeah.
Can you please get Ben to discuss the contract situation for year 2, where we're seeing players being completely released from their respective contracts and how the money works? And we also have some players in here that I don't know if they want to talk about their contracts, but I can even let you guys know a little bit about this. But go ahead, Ben.
They probably can't because usually confidentiality clauses. So from my understanding, there was a rule change this year. The last year, the contracts are fully guaranteed, right? So like if you bought someone out, you were on the hook for the rest of the contract. This year, from my understanding, per that article, that was like 2021 roster construction rules. So if someone wants to like link it, it's up there. I believe the language in there is if you buy someone out, you're due 2 months of salary, and then that's it. So you still get a little bit of a penalty, still a sunk cost there, but that's sort of the calculation. And as you know, as Fire mentioned, and I didn't even think about this, like for someone like Fire, that actually helps them because then you don't have that 3 subs on a team issue that you run into. He's got the flexibility to figure out who he wants to team with, and with a lot of challengers money on the line, so that cost-benefit analysis may work in his favor there.
100%. I think contracts they get a little mixy. I think they changed from year 1 to year 2. I think they changed some of the wording in them, but I mean I don't know how much I can talk about it because like you said, there's certain stuff we can't talk about.
Yes, there's always a lot of confidentiality stuff there, but you know, and I also think with just like anything, like you still can also negotiate your own clauses in these contracts to an extent. So some players might have custom buyouts, might have specific clauses that guarantee that their full contract gets paid out.
Yeah.
Some players might have a situation where they make a different salary on the bench they do in the starting lineup. So like a lot of different things can happen. And again, since these aren't public, we don't really necessarily know what clauses are in a given player's contract.
I see somebody saying average salary, which is a good question.
Oh, you guys want to know?
Yeah, I'll let people know. I think you know, when you're looking at some of the veteran players, maybe some of them have a brand, somewhat of a brand. Some of the top players, you're probably looking anywhere between 300 to 400.
Okay, cap.
No, that's not cap. The top players.
Yes, okay,
No,
listen.
not-
You
That's
just
not
gave
cap at
the
all.
super top line. Super top line.
Yeah,
like-
there's a lot of them.
No, there's not.
There's multiple people under that contract right now.
There are.
300 plus, multiple.
But that doesn't
No.
mean it's
Multiple.
average.
Yeah,
though, to be fair.
yeah, but that's not the average.
Oh
Like,
no, you gotta let me finish then.
That's
come on.
top line.
You didn't even let me finish then. I just started. I just fucking
Well, hold on.
started.
Well, hold on. The way you said it, you said veterans and then with a brand, so you were pretty much grouping all those players. Okay, listen, those are the anomalies. What you just heard. Those are like a handful of guys who.
Let's keep in mind that there's also another tier above that.
There's Optic Gaming.
There's other people as well. No?
I don't know. FaZe maybe? Some lads on FaZe?
I'm on 700K.
Not bad.
Listen, guys. When you have talented players, they're getting paid good. You also have teams taking different approaches where they're picking up young guys and they're giving them the minimum, right? You're giving players 50K. You're building teams based off the minimum. You know, people who might be new to the scene, you're taking a risk on them, so you don't know what you're gonna get out of them. But maybe some teams don't want to spend the money. It all depends on what the player brings to the team, and that goes into a lot of things. It's not just about talent, maybe brand wise or fucking whatever. It could be literally anything. They're paying these people not only for their personalities and their brand, but for their talent in game. So it goes very up and down. It varies, but there's a lot of people on a lot of cash. I'll tell you that.
I would say the actual average, if you were to average every single player's contract out besides the anomalies, I'd say the average would be like 200 to 250K per year.
Whoa, that's still
Still
steep,
a lot of
though.
coin.
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's a lot. I mean,
That's
listen,
actually crazy. I
no,
thought
it's
it
a
would have gone
lot.
down this year.
I mean, let me talk at a macro level, and this is not just a COD problem, but there's been like a huge salary inflation across like a lot
Don't
of
you
esports.
fucking dare
No,
try to
no,
get our
I'm-
salaries lowered.
No, that's not what
Here
I'm
he
saying.
goes.
I'm saying like there are esports out there with very few lands. I'm gonna toss out one like Valorant, right? We're getting their first land soon, where I know player salaries are astronomical. And the problem with that is from the org side, it puts you in a little bit of a pinch because if you want to build a good team, you're now on the hook for $1 million, $1.5 million in player expenditures on just salary alone. That's not even clauses. That's not even prize money coming in, covering travel, covering accommodations. So it really makes the like profit and loss, like your P&L, just sort of hard to balance. I think some of that will come down to earth over time. I think COD's sort of exempt from those others because there's a lot of upside in COD. You have a rich history of live events when the world gets back to normal. There's good sponsorship money coming in. But like an esports problem in general, I think the salaries are sort of all over the place right now.
I mean, Zin, you mentioned don't try and get our salaries lowered. They can't get lowered. They can't because if a team because if a team cares about winning and there's good players on the sidelines and people want a certain player, it's like you have to drop cash. You have to. If you
It
want a
also
winning
de-
team, now
also
you could
depends
take,
on what
you
you wanna
could take,
build, who the
you can
team
take,
is.
yeah, exactly. You could take the risk in picking up no names or amateurs that you think very highly of, and maybe throw in the minimum. But that's taking a risk. You're not paying the money. You're taking a risk, seeing if it's gonna work. But at the end of the day, if there's really good players on the market and multiple teams want this player because they really want to win, then they deserve the money. They deserve it.
Who's the highest paid player? I'm sure it's an impossible guess, guys.
The only thing I'll say, Tom, the only thing I'll say, and I don't think this is going to happen because it requires a lot of coordination. Baseball had a similar problem, and then all the teams, unquote, colluded to drive free agency prices down. I don't know if it's going to happen in esports because, like, in baseball, you've got built brands and, like, their business models are set, and esports people are still trying to figure out how to make a lot of profit. So I don't really, they're still very competitive in that aspect. But I don't think COD player salaries are that bad when you think about like the full ecosystem and like what you actually get out of the value of those players.
I mean, we can also talk about it's not easy to be a professional Call of Duty player. It's not
easy, and our social, first off, for the size of our esport, our social reach is actually insane.
It really is.
It is.
Like our social reach probably is the main reason you hear numbers like that, because like I would compare COD to, like, bro, it's just so entertaining. There's nothing better than a COD drama day where people are texting girlfriends and fucking.
You're making videos on Twitter doing a drama alert thing.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, still a bunch of
emergency flanks coming out of nowhere.
I mean, it's just Call of Duty's unmatched when it comes to the drama, and all the pros are.
Cool.
I think all the pros are super open, bro. Like,
I was gonna say that.
When do you, like, for example, Clay's been struggling. He can't. What's good, Duarte?
Parasites in the chat.
but get back to your point.
But I mean, like, just like Clay's struggling, he didn't hesitate to come to Twitter and let his fans and supporters know how he's feeling. Like, not very often will you see a player have that sort of transparency with the fan base, and all the pros will just tweet and say what's up, reply to people. Like, it's not. It's just super interactive, and that's what I think a lot of people get the big money for, is like, you know, if you own a team, if you own the team and you want to bring in big sponsors, it's like what they care about for the majority is how many people can you reach. And it's like, well, we can reach 100,000 people, 1 million people. And that's how you pretty much bring in big money.
Yep.
No, I also think, and part of the reason there's so much capital coming into esports is there's an authentic. You're right. There's an authenticity to it, right? Look at pro sports. People like major athletes, LeBron, Messi, Ronaldo, carefully crafted images via traditional media, some social media on their side, but it's all very calculated. You don't really have that in esports. People are just who they are. They act the way they are on stream, on social media.
It's different.
So it's like for younger fans and really just any fan in general, they just connect on a different level. And I think, you know, as teams start and entities start to figure out like the content and the monetization around that angle, like it's just tremendous upside on that front.
Well, to add on to that, I feel like we're in a new generation of time now. Like, even with actual sports, I feel like you see a lot of athletes now showing more of their personal lives, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. A lot of athletes going live on Instagram Live. We see Sergio Aguero, right, coming on Twitch.
Yeah,
we see a lot of athletes getting into gaming and getting like really repping up their social medias. It's pretty cool to see, man. It's really fucking cool to see. So,
but the thing though with all that is you never see those. You just named a lot of athletes. The difference between them and esports, you see these guys practice and actually play their craft, and how they respond verbally in that. You never have that with pro athlete. When are we really getting LeBron mic'd up in a practice? When he goes to the U.S. national team, sometimes they do some videos, but those guys are usually loose, having fun, doing trick shots.
But let me ask you this: do you think?
Sorry.
I was gonna say, do you think that LeBron has done that before? Maybe they're working on, like, you know, one day when he retires or steps away from the game, they have something ready to go for him.
I'm sure.
I think he does.
Like a Last Dance type thing?
Yeah, like a Last Dance type thing.
That's not what Ben's talking about. You don't hear what LeBron says to AD when
no, I know. Yeah, it's completely different. Different. Yeah,
but you will hear Crimsix ask Methods if he's an AR or a bitch. And it's like, and then you can talk about it on Reddit and tweet about it. And, you know, it's just a different type of
esports is different.
Yeah.
We got a question coming in from Mama Zoomaa via text message. She said, do you think contracts should be public?
Oh, a scary one. I mean, listen.
We've had this combo a couple times, but go ahead, Zen.
I don't know. Yes and no. because like that
The
just
whole,
opens
well, of
up
course,
to
the
a
whole
different.
chat is gonna say yes.
I mean, of course you would, but
Yeah.
it just opens up to a different type of shitstorm where like players now have to. I mean, like I don't know, like players would have that pressure of like, well, I'm on this much money, now everybody knows it, and if I'm playing like a hamster, I'm gonna get called a hamster that's on 400K. so you have that part of it. It's
Uh-huh.
like I think it'd be good from like an organization standpoint, like where it's like everything's. I don't know what I'm saying. Can someone else take over?
I agree. I think that we should make them public. I think we should. I think we see them being made public in actual sports. I think they should be made
Other
public.
esports as well. How they
Yeah,
like.
yeah, other esports. I think we should 100% make it public. There might
Yeah,
be
but-
there might be somebody's in on 50K that's playing better than somebody on 400K.
Yeah, but it's like we aren't sports, and a lot of people argue this. I have always been on the side that esports is very similar to sports. Like, for example, everybody wanted to have esports at the Olympics, and in my mind, why don't we just do an esports Olympics and have like all the esports there?
That'd be
and that's
cool.
how you act. That's for example, someone going to watch snowboarding is not going to fucking become a
Yeah,
fan of
that'd
COD.
be the play for
but
sure.
but if you're a League of Legends fan and you see Call of Duty, it's like, wow, maybe maybe you can relate to that and get involved with that. So that's why there's a lot of similarities in sport.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not as physical. Like when I hear sport, I hear physical. Like I compare it to
I separated
like-
sports and esports.
like a poker. Like you still see poker on ESPN, but it's just not a sport.
Silly said in the chat, big difference is that pro athletes make fuck you money and it doesn't matter. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if I mean, they're totally different life cycles. Like sports is very much like the apex. I think $1 billion media deals. Like everybody's eating. Like esports is still a little bit the wild west. It's still esports coming and going. Games are on tremendously quicker microcycles. Talent's on a more microcycle. And you have to also remember too, with pro contracts, that transparency is negotiated versus contractual bargaining agreements that these players unions have worked with the leagues. So it's a totally different scenario. I think there are pros and cons to this from both a team side and a player side. And I'm very curious if both entities will inevitably kind of broach this issue and see where they change it.
Is every pro athlete's contract public? Like, is it ever like can I find out anybody's
Well, I
salary?
mean,
No,
JCap just put in the chat, but
Oh, sorry.
teams / the league doesn't publicize the contracts.
Depends on the league. American sports, yes. Outside of America, like European soccer, like
Oh yeah, we know
no.
everything.
I mean,
yeah.
that was a big thing for like 3 or 4 years was football leagues. That this entity was leaking player contracts in European soccer, and like some of these contracts were absolutely insane. Their like signing bonuses were insane. Like it's not the same in every league and every sport again, due to the nature of how the players and their relationship with the league are created from like an entity standpoint.
Well, I mean that's the thing. So someone has said that like they're always leaked. Like you'll never see it in like a press conference, and it's like I think we've seen esports players' salaries leaked. Like what's the big League of Legends player that went from G2 to the NA? What's his name? Perks? Is that him? Perks?
Perks.
Or-
From EU to
Yeah.
yeah, he went from
Yeah.
He's
G2
on
to
G2,
C9,
yeah.
right?
He was.
Wasn't his deal sort of leaked, or there were numbers
Yeah, it was
flying
leaked.
around?
Sometimes you get leaks.
Yeah,
Mine
like-
got leaked.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think if the story's big enough and people are interested, then honestly, it'll inevitably leak for the most part. But it's very hard to, I don't know. I feel like it's
Yeah, but
hard
let's-
to make it a thing to make it so every player's contract has to be public.
All right,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about leaks, because sometimes those leaks are tactical, right? Great example was when the Lakers tried to make that hilarious trade a while back before they got Anthony Davis. They like immediately went to the media and leaked the contents of the trade they offered to try and get leverage. Like sometimes those salaries and those things are getting out there because one party is trying to create leverage or reduce another party's leverage. So
Yeah.
you don't really see that a lot in esports. Like I don't think a lot of teams and players have learned how to use the media to like craft narratives like that. But to like the greater point on sort of transparency on salary, like I think it's a very interesting discussion with a lot of pros and also a lot of cons, and it doesn't really get discussed enough about in depth.
I agree.
I think it's cool, like on the players' side as well, in the sense that obviously it's not great for the players on one side of things, but on the other side of things, it's like if I'm signing to Paris for 50K, but I know as a player all the salaries of everyone else in the league, then I kind of know what I'm worth in a sense. Like I can
Yeah.
see that guy, okay, you signed to this team for this much cash. So I should be worth this. I can work with my agent to try and make that happen.
I mean, all the players know all the salaries.
We know.
I can
Yeah,
tell you,
that's fair.
I can tell you any single player in the league salary right now.
Yeah, me too.
It just sort of it's sort of just this known
No,
thing.
we
but
could, yeah.
It's just not public. Like I think all of the COD players pretty much look out for each other in that sense, where it's like, at the very least, you have a very, very, very good estimate to what someone's on. So I don't think we have that problem. One thing from an organization perspective, it's like, could an org be embarrassed if they underpay their players? Like, I'm genuinely asking, like, do you guys think that's maybe something where it's like, shit, we only pay our players $50K. If this gets out,
Listen, my thought, who gives a fuck? That's my thought. Who gives a fuck if players on a lot of money and they get shit on? Who gives a fuck if people are looking at orgs underpaying players or overpaying players or whatever? It's part of it. It's part of the whole point of it. It's just gonna get a lot of people talking. There's just a lot more of a dynamic that goes into it. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my response to that question's is it doesn't matter if they're paying too little or too much. It comes down to whether the team is good or not. When the team is good, you'll have positive stories. When the team is bad, people are going to find and try to control the narrative to push whatever excuse or story or spin on whatever it is. So I don't think it's like so as situational as you said. It's just entirely down to how a team is playing.
Bro, it's one of those things where, you know, a team could be paying a lot of money for these 4 players and people are giving them flack for it, but then they come out victorious and the org looks like fucking geniuses. Now they look great. It could go either way. Like, coming out with this stuff is just more information to the public where it can look good sometimes and it can look bad sometimes. It just like sometimes maybe you see a team that's given nothing but the minimum to 4 guys and these guys are a top 3 team. It's like, good on them. They went out and they found, you know, they took a risk and it worked. You know what I'm saying? It can go positive and it can go negative.
Yeah, but you're basing salaries just off team success. But we just spoke about a majority of the reason is the social reach and that aspect. So like I'll use Optic
Which is what other people would have to keep in mind when they're looking at this stuff.
I'll use Optic Gaming for example. Let's say there's a world where they're the dead last team and they're making and they're making really good money. It's like I would argue that they're still worth that money because they're still bringing all the guys.
Yeah, right. How does that change my points then?
I don't know.
Anyway,
let's
we can move on. We can move on. That was a very good question. Shout out to Mama Zoomaa. She texted me. That was actually a really good question. Next question up on the list. Again, these were all the highly rated comments, so I definitely want to just touch on all of them. Thought on Illy. Personally, was expecting an MVP caliber year, but he has the second lowest KD of any AR in the league, I think. He's traditionally a sub player too, but with the meta becoming more AR heavy, probably 2 Krigs on all maps. Where does that leave Dallas and Illy? Also, great fucking streams, man. Watch them every day. Best content outside of actual matches I have ever seen in COD. Probably in all of esports too. You're killing it, go. That's good fucking gas from this fucking guy. Gas. Let's get a W in the chat.
It's a weird in the chat, baby.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the love, man. I really do appreciate it. And I kind of want to kick this off, man. I want to kick this one off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am a huge fan of Illy, man. He hasn't shown the Illy that everybody knows, but he's clearly very talented, man. He still shows it. He makes plays. He makes fucking plays, bro.
He was good for stretches of last season. I wouldn't totally undersell him.
He makes plays.
This is a classic case. We've seen this a lot with like unquote good teams where like one player who's really good like isn't putting up the numbers you expect. And like you're always like, well, how does that happen? And like it's always a combo of like 2 things. One is like, is the way the team system set up, they're being put in bad spots, gap filling, having to pick up like weird lanes and get weird timings, and just never in like good gunfight or good timing situations. Or is it just like a comfortability within the team chemistry and they're just not meshing well? I think with Illy it might be more of number 1 because we know like Shotzi and Hook are kind of like really good at sort of finding holes and they sort of make plays and sort of it's down for Illy to sometimes be like, I don't want to use the word like bitch roll, but sometimes he's just left to kind of like be that gap filler, and that can always be really tricky on a team. So I think though, like to be fair to Illy, like their whole team did not play well in this stage 2. If you ask any of the players on his Dallas team, I don't think they're happy with how they played the entire stage.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I would not just like toss Illy under the bus with this team. Like I think
Definitely
all 4 players need to step it up.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need to step up as a unit, as a squad. And you guys, again, you could say anything about the kid's KD, but just watch the matches. Illy makes plays, and when they're on his screen, he's definitely comfortable, and he's definitely shooting straight. So there's just a lot more that goes into it, in my opinion. Other people might think otherwise, but hey, that's what we're here on the show for, to give our opinions. Tactical Rab, what do you think? You handsome bastard.
I mean, Illy's so good, man. On the amount of plays he's made this season on, I mean, I remember a few on raid control that he's done.
Oh,
He's just completely taken over.
I remember
rounds.
one in Tiki on raid control
Tiki,
where he just went nuts.
BBZ out, yeah.
Yep.
I feel like you don't necessarily. I mean, that entire Dallas team, really, nothing crazy has happened on the scoreboard this season. Then you look at the placing, and they still came top 3 or whatever. Like they have such a lackluster stage for their standards, and yet they still find a way to actually like get a great result at the end of it. And I mean, I kind of agree with Vising here in the sense that last season he basically did play the bitch role on that team, and he needed to, and they won the world championship. But I thought this season, okay, maybe he'll step into a role where he's required to be more of a slayer, and like we'll actually see insane numbers out of him. We haven't seen that so far. I think it's the search and destroy that's really kind of been a question mark to me, because it's like, you see, I mean, to be fair, Simp this stage had like a 0.8 in search. This is a crazy stat sheet. Simp in bringing the Ben stats out right here. Simp in stage 1 had like a 1 point, I don't know the precise numbers, but he had a 1.67, I think, in stage 1, search and destroy.
Yeah.
Simp in stage 2 had a 0.78 or something. His KD halved from stage 1 to stage 2.
Yeah.
But that aside, like we've seen similar numbers from kids who have been like insane S&D stars back in the day. They're still doing it. Illy hasn't really been there that year in that game mode. I think like the whole way their team's organized is somehow a bit strange. But I still think he's super talented. I'm a big fan of the trio on that team, and Krim, of course. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I mean, I don't know. I feel like he could be getting put in tough situations. I mean, if you watch Shotzi and Kyler, obviously smart players, but like when they're feeling themselves, they just go. And sometimes that's great when they're getting all their kills, and sometimes when they're not getting all those kills, you put your teammates in bad spots. I think that, no matter what, I think this team has full faith in each other, and I think that's something that you got to respect with certain teams. Is like, it's okay if a player statistically underperforms for a stage. Like that's our teammate, and we're gonna get better. Like you know what I'm saying. And I think Dallas and that little XZO group is a testament to that. It's like that group is here to stay. But that being said, it's like, how long do you give this? First off, they're placing top 2 and top 3, so it's not.
They're
like
placing.
they're
That's
bad.
what I'm saying. They're playing good. They are. Who cares about their stats? They're a top 2, top 3 team. I mean.
But I would say like it's unfair to pin on Illy. Their inconsistency in being top 1 is on Shotzi and Collar and not on Illy. It's the same way with Alec. Like, excuse me, if you're Atlanta FaZe, like, are you really worried with Alec dropping 0.95s right now? No, because the rest of the team is dropping like 1.3s. But it's a problem this stage if Collar went from dropping a 1.3 to like a 0.98. So like, you know, again, don't want to put too much pressure on players, but like, I don't think it's fair to scapegoat Illy for the fact that they're just up and down, and up until parts of this stage they were just not a particularly good S&D team against certain matchups. I know against weaker teams they play well in that game mode, but against like Minnesota and FaZe,
they won like all their game 5s. Round 11.
They're clutching up in game 5s. But their
like, they won like
record,
every round 11.
Their S&D record against
different.
certain teams like Minnesota and FaZe was like they were dropping a goose egg, and that didn't help. So I think they'll figure it out and be thereabouts.
Yep. Slacked, what do you think? Let's bring you in.
I mean, kind of similar to what you guys said. I don't think he's like necessarily the problem at all, or I don't know. I've never been a player to also look at like KD and whatnot. I think Ender's a great player, and I think they've kind of just been underperforming, I guess, as a like 4 unit as far as what everyone probably holds them to. I mean, obviously they expect them to win, but I think they're not far off from it, and I think Ender plays like an aggressive AR role where he's going to have series where he doesn't have a 1.5 like everyone expects him to, and he maybe has a 0.9, but he still has – but I've seen series where Ender has like 16,000 damage, and he's got a 0.7.
Yep.
And it's like he's got most damage on his entire team, but he has a 0.7 or 0.8. It's like, I don't know. I don't know where you base that off of. It's like, okay, cool, he could have had a 1.0 and maybe 15 more kills, but he has the most damage, and he's shooting the most people on the map. So.
Yep. No, it goes back.
I think it's what Zen said too. Let them be just a well-rounded team. They're there to stick.
That's what I was gonna say. It goes back to what I said prior.
A 0.95 is like 98 and 100. A 0.6, different story. If someone's dropping 0.6s, it's like, okay, this is a little alarming. The .95s, I mean, as long as they're doing what they have to do, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
Plenty of teams have won historically in COD with a player dropping a .9. More famous example is what the numbers that Theory was dropping when they went back to back in World War II.
0.78, baby.
Yeah, like this guy's gap filling and not going positive, and they're still handily winning series. So again, I wouldn't look too much into LA's performances as a team. They're just all over the map right now, and they got to figure it out.
Yep, I agree. One thing I will add to end this question is, we say it all the time. I've said it before on this show. Watch the game and use the stats with the game. Don't just look at the stats without watching and just be like, this guy's shit or this guy's good. Always combine stats with watching the game and see for yourselves, and then just kind of compare that way. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Karma in the chat, man. Absolute GOAT, legend. Let's get a
.9 right there.
Yeah, let's get a Warma in the chat.
An example about that.
Let's get a Warma in the chat.
It'll still be impactful.
Absolute GOAT, absolute legend. Let's go on to the next question. I skipped. There were some other questions here. You know, they were some of them were a little fucking weird. If you had to have at least one of your hands turned into dinosaur claws, would you say fuck it and turn them both into dinosaur claws, or keep one human hand? I would personally like to keep it even and make both dinosaur claws.
No, that's not right. Because think about
no
it.
way.
You need one human hand to do the deed.
Okay. Next question.
All right, let's go into the next one. Does Temp fit in with Classic as an SMG duo in this game, or should pairs have Trial, Saints, and Decimate?
We talked about that a little bit.
Talked about it already a little bit in the beginning of the show.
Saints is interesting though, right? Because like the Saints was the rumor for this team initially a while ago. It was like, okay, Saints Classic makes sense, but he's out. I mean, out of the picture. Maybe it's the academy thing that's tough to get rid of him, right?
If I'm New York, though, I'm not letting Saints walk because I still need an insurance policy if my moves go south. And Nada will get his chance, but that would kind of ruin their ability to like hedge against whatever changes they're making. It's sort of my read on the situation.
When you pour milk into cereal, is that milk now a beverage, a sauce, or a broth? You look good today, by the way. Thank you. Thank you, BM Clean. I don't fucking know what your question is, though. What do you mean a broth? Or a sauce, or a beverage.
It's a beverage. It's a favorite beverage.
It's a beverage.
It's a different flavor.
100% a broth.
It's a broth?
Yeah, 100% a broth.
Not a broth, man.
Yeah. Chad agrees with me.
It's a beverage. You just flavor the beverage. It's like putting fucking flavoring into
You're pouring
your water.
milk into the cereal. It's like you're pouring stock, except the stock is milk.
No.
I think broth. I'm so confused.
Next question.
All right, next question. This one really caught my eye. This is the one I wanted to get to. With the expansion coming in, do you think it will be impossible for FaZe to keep their roster next year? Because new orgs will be offering the max to a BZ, Simp, and Celium. These players also have a expiring contract as their 1+1 is up, so they can walk freely. First, I want to kick things off. We don't know if their 1+1 is up. They could have re-signed something new in the beginning of this year. At the end of a 1+1, guys, teams can re-up on those contracts. Teams can still offer somebody more money, and then they sign another 1+1. So a lot of players that you guys might think are free agents at the end of this year because teams signed or players signed 1+1s in the beginning of last year doesn't mean shit because we don't know what the heck's going on. Two, to add on to this is where things get a little mixy. Does a player leave for more money, or do they say, you know what, we can all get paid good money, maybe not the max, but we can stay together and still be a really good team and win? And I think that's what these guys are going to do.
Can I speak on this? Because there's an angle that every time I see this question, there's an angle that nobody ever talks about.
Let's hear it, Win.
Which is an important calculation. If you're the guys on FaZe, you sticking together guarantees that you're going to make a boatload of prize money every year. And there is a lot of prize money to be had in the scene. And that offsets a lot of money that you might make.
Has he done the tweet?
A lot of money that you might make going elsewhere.
Was there an intel bomb?
Yeah, let me wrap this up because we definitely need to talk about the CDL intel tweet. I personally, just to put a pin on this conversation, I don't think those players on FaZe are going anywhere. I think they like teaming with each other. I don't think there are other situations out there that are going to make them get in a better team. And I have a feeling that they can figure out how to get everybody paid. But Tom, I think you should really pull up the CDL intel tweet.
Dun, dun, dun!
I think Rab, this
there
is
we go.
We got breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, on the emergency flank. Sources, New York subliners are aggressively pursuing a deal with Atlanta FaZe to acquire Sib from Challengers. I need immediate thoughts out of this one, Ben, because I'm a big fan of Sib. You already know this, but
I'm a big fan of Sib too. Well, so two pieces to this. One
Sims
is
in the chat.
one of the well, couple things here. So I think they've got to figure out obviously the mechanics of a deal. There's probably a buyout going through. I don't think FaZe are one of those orgs that are, unless New York's really lowballing them. I don't think of mechanics of the deal really going to hold this up. From the New York side, I love this move. People make a lot about Dante's attitude problems, but like,
I'll smack the shit out of him if he has bad attitude.
You watch him play, and he's an unbelievable talent with tremendous upside. And I honestly really, really like this move if they're able to pull it off.
I agree. I like the move. Honestly, we got a special guest, ladies and gentlemen.
User was moved
Sib,
to your channel.
welcome to the flank. How's it going, Dante?
Going good. What about you guys, man?
What
How
is
y'all
going on? We're doing pretty good. What's going on here, Dante, with this tweet? Can you elaborate? Obviously you probably can't say much, but this is a little weird, Dante. It's a little weird.
Just a tad bit weird, yeah.
It's a little weird. Listen, I don't know if it's true or false. But how are you feeling after seeing this news? Did this catch you by storm?
I'm enlightened. And if I do go on New York, if I don't, either one doesn't matter to me. I'll get my chance regardless. But if I do get on it, something happens. If they want to pursue me like that. And
Hey, wake up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you do get on it, right?
Yeah.
And you start acting like a fucking asshole, you're done. You're fucking done. All right.
Who in their right mind would do that? That doesn't really just sound logical.
I don't know,
I agree.
You're costing me a top 32 place in a
That is
challenge.
incorrect. That is incorrect.
Oh, shit.
That is incorrect.
Listen,
Incorrect.
Dante,
The news is true, man. I'm happy for you, man.
yeah, I mean, I don't really know what's going on. If it is true, I'm happy for you. But remember,
I FaceTimed you like, I don't know.
all right, you gonna put me on blast here?
No, it's not.
You fucking asshole.
What were you saying?
Listen. If you do get in this, right? If you get into this team, I think you just need to make sure you do your thing, man, and stay level-headed, and don't bang your head against the wall. Don't throw your headset.
Why do you keep saying this?
Because you did this shit, Dante. We all saw it live on Twitch.tv.
When?
Last year.
Modern Warfare Champs.
Wait. No. What did you say, Ben?
Yeah, last.
You know
last
how
year,
long a
we
year
all-
is? Ask me.
Yeah. Good,
Tell me.
good. Speak up.
First. Let me stop you right there.
Yeah,
Tell
go
me
ahead.
how long a year is.
12 months, brother. 364
No. How many
and a
days
quarter
is a year? How many days is in a year?
364 and a quarter.
So how does that? How was a year ago relate to me now?
Facts.
That's a great point.
That to me sounds like you're like
You're a
living
new
in the past
man,
right now.
Dante,
What
you're a new
about
fucking man.
what about the
Verse
president?
Tom,
What
don't
about the
roast
right
me.
now?
You're wiser.
Okay, wait.
You're wiser.
Also, let me
Go off,
let me
go off.
stop you right there again. So you watched me play challenges, correct or
Yeah,
incorrect?
and you're disgusting.
Okay,
Go ahead.
no. I don't care about that. But did you see me banging my head against the wall?
No.
This year.
Okay,
yeah?
then. So how is that relevant? Explain to me how that's
Yeah,
relevant.
you talk to Tom. Don't talk to me, brother.
I mean,
Yeah,
Tom,
talk to
explain
me,
how that's
Dante.
relevant. Okay, how is it relevant? Let me know. How is it relevant?
Dante,
Is
you
it-
have
no,
a
explain to me how it's
fucking
relevant.
stigma on you that you're a fucking asshole.
I don't give a
I'm
fuck
gonna
about
need
the
you.
stigma.
I'm gonna
Tell
need
me
you.
how it's relevant.
No,
Tell
Dante,
me how it's
listen to
relevant.
me, Dante. Listen to me very closely.
No. Tell me how it's relevant.
No, Dante, you
Explain.
gotta listen to me, okay? You gotta relax. Take a deep breath. Woosah. All right? Listen, Dante, what have I been saying to you the past couple months? I think you have changed a lot. I say it all the time on the stream. I think your attitude has gotten a lot better. I think your talent is out of this world. I have nonstop gassed you on this show. So you watch your fucking mouth when you're talking to me, because you gotta know who the fuck I am. You understand? All right.
I got to speak now.
Go ahead.
I understand that.
Hey, wake up.
But you can't say things unless they're facts. If you were talking about my attitude as of right now, and you can say, "Oh yeah,
I think you have a
an
good
attitude
attitude.
issue.
I think you have a good
attitude
attitude.
issue. I have an issue with this. We're all human. Nobody's perfect.
I
I have
agree.
my own flaws. Everyone else has their own flaws.
I agree.
So, according to that, if I actually had an attitude and I would willingly open up to that, and if you said that I had an attitude problem and it's clearly cut that I have an attitude
I don't think you do
issue,
anymore.
I would say, you know what? Right.
I just
I
like
do
to
have an
fuck with
attitude
you.
issue, and
I
that-
like to
and
fuck
that
with you
does-
because
and that does need
it's
fixing.
funny. It's funny when I mess
I
with
mean,
you.
it is pretty funny. 'Cause,
You get really fucking pissed off, and it reminds me of myself because I was like you when I was 18. I was a fucking asshole. And it just reminds me of myself. And you get really emotional when people say shit. So I just
It's not facts. Like, don't talk.
Hold on.
Well,
like you're
listen.
talking facts.
No,
hold on,
Zinni's
hold
gotta
on,
speak.
Dante. Hold on. Here's what I have to say. First off, Dante, stigmas matter in this shit. People think I'm a hamster on a wheel sitting behind cabin wall and I can't move around the map. and unfortunately, we're in the line of work where people's opinions do matter because you got to get teams and it's a politic game. People's opinions matter.
100.
Secondly, you didn't call out in our past challenges tournament.
Ah,
That
shit.
is incorrect.
No.
That is incorrect.
Ah,
That is incorrect.
shit.
Then you tweeted fans
incorrect.
saying you weren't trying.
That's incorrect.
What?
That's incorrect. You want to go down there? We can go down this rabbit
No,
hole.
listen. No, I think
No,
you're very
we can
good.
go down
but-
this. We can harpoon this right now and really
Get him,
talk about
Dante.
it.
Get
No,
this
no,
motherfucker.
No, don't. No, the poor guy. No, don't do it.
Alright. That's all I needed to hear.
Listen, at the end of the day, Dante, whether the rumors are true or not, I'm a big fan, and you know this. So just keep yourself level-headed, and if you need anything, you know, I'm a FaceTime away. You always FaceTime me, so hey, you're always welcome. You tweeted me today. Where was my invite? What are you just?
Didn't get one. No, didn't get one.
All right, well then tomorrow you'll get one.
No,
We'll,
'cause- no.
We'll
no,
get some
no, no.
lunch.
No, listen. I wouldn't say invite me. Like, I know I'm welcome, but you told me you were going to notify me, which you didn't.
Ooh.
I was very Dante.
It wasn't that you didn't invite me.
I
It's the principle of
I
it.
was busy today, Dante. I had a film.
Oh, so now you're busy. So
Listen. You gotta understand that I got a lot of shit I gotta do. All right, I was filming all fucking morning. I was doing content. I was filming videos. I rushed home. I wrote down a bunch of notes for the show because I want to entertain people. People wanted to see an emergency flank, and that's what they get. The Zoo Mafia gets what they want. And then I only had a couple hours, so I ate. I took a nap, and I hopped on the fucking show. So another day we could go out. All right. Okay.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Sounds like
All
a
right,
plan.
let's move on.
As long as you live up to that. But don't tell
I'll
me.
I'll live up to it. I'll live up to it.
And then don't tell me that, and then we don't ever do it. You know what I'm saying?
No. Well, I'll live up to it. Don't worry.
Don't tease now. Don't tease.
Let's move on, Dante, because fucking we got other things to talk about. Okay, we got other questions coming in on Reddit. There's all kinds of shit. I don't know really which question. There's so many questions that you guys brought in. It gets really mixy here towards the bottom. I think we got most of the top questions out of the way.
Let's take one more question, then we can wrap it
Yeah,
up.
let's take one more. Congrats on all success this year. My question is about your recent announcement of getting back into challengers. Is that legit? If so, could you give us an update on your hand? That was more of me just trying to have fun. I think I was thinking about just playing challenges for fun. I wasn't gonna take it so seriously. I think I can make a run. I really do. I think I can, if I get a good team together. I can make. Do we have another intel tweet coming in, or is the Zoo Mafia trolling me? Am I
He's
being
just saying
trolled?
Sib and Hydra is a duo, right? Like it's kind of we didn't
is baiting,
necessarily
bro.
say it, but
Shout
but I mean,
out
like, the
Crone
team-
seeking for some interactions on Twitter. You
yeah,
gotta
you
take
know how
that.
it goes. But I mean, he says in the article, right? Like Clay, Seam, Sib, Hydra. That's the team I was discussing earlier.
That's a gross team right there. Like instantly, I think that team.
Yeah, we'll
like,
see how it works. If it's true.
Yeah.
Usually with CDL intel tweets out is true, but I mean we gotta wait till everything is confirmed, right? So we'll see. But let's go one more question. I'm scrolling through. I'm trying to see if there's a good question that really catches my eye. There's a question here. Do you think LAG needs a roster change?
Yes, and I'm really surprised they haven't heard anything about roster changes.
Okay, let's end with that one. Why do you think they need a roster change? You think they're shit?
I think the problem is that their ceiling is not conducive to them being a consistent performer, and all these other teams are getting better. And yeah, I know you beat FaZe in the last stage, but what else did you do in that
Doesn't mean
tournament?
anything though.
The answer to that is nothing. And we have talked about this time and time again in the show with LAG. Reese Vivid is very good. The other three players, question marks. And if I were LAG, I'm thinking about long term because I'm in LA and I can build pieces. Caps roasting me in the chat. I thought I was talking about Thieves. I wasn't talking about Thieves. But in regards to LAG, like, would love to see them bring in some players on the challengers side and mix things up. Would love to see Tom Gravity. I would have loved to have seen Sib on that team. Sounds like that boat was missed. And they're going to be left holding the bag because all these top amateur players are going to now get called up to teams, and there's not going to be much for them to work. So I think
What are we
the
talking about
window
here?
is now
Sorry.
for them.
LAG, do they need a roster change? Are they shit, Zen?
Oh, I mean, I won't comment.
Okay.
I mean, I'm kind of
Rab, you wanna
No
add in? You
comments.
wanna add in a comment, Rab? I feel like you want to.
I mean, listen,
mean,
bro. I mean, if teams aren't.
All right.
Sorry. Hey,
I'll
Rap,
do
go
it.
This
ahead.
guy's into all over the fucking place.
No. I mean, just like, I think if teams aren't performing for an extended period of time, no matter what team you are, it's like, bro, Thieves just got rid of Slasher and Temp, and
I know.
that can't be easy to do. So
No.
I mean, you'd like to see every team sort of have that same mindset of trying to win events and not stay top 8.
Someone's got to give that for sure. I feel kind of sad in a way because it's like, if that team makes a change, sure, like you imagine that Apathy finds his way out of the team because he hasn't been great. And I mean, I feel like if you actually want to make that team win, you probably need a lot of changes. So feels to me that if they do make a change, it's probably Apathy who goes, and then what other team does he get on, right? Like, does he retire, right? Like that's.
I mean, there's a lot of like questions about who you actually change, right? I mean,
yeah,
you could say App, but App is also like a legend. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of
He's
the
a legend, though.
So is
doesn't make
Slasher.
him
No.
undroppable.
I'm not saying keep App because he's a legend. I'm saying it's hard. It's hard decisions that they have to make, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like you have to play it by ear. It's gonna come down to the team and who they think needs a change. And it's weird. That team gets weird because you have Vivid, who I think is their best player, and then you have a core 3, who I feel like they're like really enjoy each other. Like I don't think they want to make changes.
Yeah, but
it's gonna come down to the coach and the management. My goal with the team would be to sit Reese down and talk to Reese about what he thinks he wants to do one-on-one and say, oh, Reese, okay, what's going on?
Reese is in the chat, by the way, too.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you say, what's going on? Why isn't the team performing? And why are we seeing inconsistency? Just sit down your best player and talk to him. Now, it's hard. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say, and it's going to come down to the coaching staff. It's going to come down to the management. And maybe they want to stick it through. If they want to stick it through, then let them stick it through. The team has showed a lot of ups and downs, right? They beat FaZe. We've seen good things out of them. We've seen bad things out of them. Regardless, I'm a big fan of all of them. What is Silly saying in the chat? Everybody's saying Willie. Whoa, where have I been?
Silly's been good. Me and Silly have our Twitter beef for fun, but Silly's top 2 player, I think, behind Vivid on that team.
No, he is. Silly's a good player. Silly has
definitely been the second best player for sure.
But to touch on your point of like it's not easy, like I don't think there's any change that's ever going to be easy. Like Mark telling me I'm going to substitute's not easy. Slasher, I mean, I know how close Cap and the people over there are close with Slasher, like telling him he's on the bench is not an easy conversation. Like there is no getting around the easy conversation. I mean, or the tough conversation, but it's like just comes down to what you truly think is going to help the team.
I agree. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens, and I guess we can end it there. I got a poke coming in from TeamSpeak from an anonymous poker.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we'll just say Karma. He said this guy won't last with Clay GG, and we'll end it there. We'll end it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for tuning into an emergency flank. I hope you guys really do enjoy this, man. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. I'm sure we'll be doing more of these throughout the week. I'm sure a lot of changes are going to be happening. I'm sure a lot of announcements are going to be happening. We have the groups that are going to be drawn, right, Ben? So we're going to have to, we're going to have to throw up some more emergency flanks. And of course, when COD does kick back up, we'll be doing flakes after all the matches. So make sure to tune in on YouTube if you missed anything. We also are on Spotify, right, Ben? What else are we on? We're getting it on more platforms, but right now, definitely YouTube, definitely Spotify.
Few more platforms. I'm still waiting on Apple. Hopefully next couple of I was talking to some folks in the podcast industry, and they're just like very slow to approve stuff. So as soon as we get Apple Podcasts approved, we'll let you know. Tom can circulate. If you're ever curious what platforms we're on, we'll send around our anchor link, and that lists all the platforms we're on. You can also quickly access all the audio recordings, and this show will go up pretty early tomorrow morning. Whenever I wake up, I'll upload it and have it ready for you guys.
For sure. So shout out to Methods, shout out to Slack, shout out to Sib. Most importantly, Tactical Rab. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks, brother.
Cheers to having me on, Zoomaa.
Yep, appreciate you coming on, man. I love having you on, Rap. I'm gonna be honest. I love getting you on the show. I think you put in a lot of good input. So if you ever want to come in, It's always a
It was
pleasure.
a good time.
Yeah, it's always good to get your expertise. And it's always good to hear from you, Rab. You've been obviously killing the content game and, giving the fans what they need. So, Rab, we're happy to have you.
You did a good impression of me the other day. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, Zinni's a good guy. He's crazy. But thank you guys for coming on, and most importantly, Ben, thank you for another amazing show.
You too as well, Tom. Thanks for having me on as always.
Yeah, you're the man, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Peace.